We are here at the JM&A booth with Kevin Hall. He is the Director of Strategic Planning. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, so I got to know, the future of F&I, where are things headed and what is JM&A thinking about it?
Yeah, so I think we break it down into three core functions, right? If we think about the consumer today, the consumer is really looking for a personalized journey. And historically, the F&I office has been a box, right? It's been really centered and it's been one size fits all. And we believe that with technology, with the advancement of a number of different tools and resources, that the personalization for the consumer is going to be a critical part of the future of F&I.
You mean taking it beyond that, turning the computer screen to their face and they can't see what's being typed in, really just making it a much more human,
for sure,
transparent.
100%. Leveraging data, leveraging insights, creating consumer personas, very similar to what other industries do today to understand their customers' needs, bringing that into the F&I office. And we think that leads to the second big part of the future of F&I is the expansion of F&I. Historically, F&I is a product that is sold at a dealership. And we believe to personalize the journey for a consumer, you have to begin to educate the consumer on the value of these products earlier in their cycle, right? If 80+% of the consumer is doing research on what type of car they want, the trim, the color, the paint, all of those different components, there's also a world where they want to better understand what types of protection products they could add to their products. And so we think the expansion of F&I earlier in the sales process will also help to that personalized journey. Yeah,
it's less of the afterthought.
Very much so.
So you're introducing F&I earlier on in the process. What's the real world kind of tangible impact that that's having for customers purchasing vehicles?
Yeah, what we're seeing is consumers are actually selecting more products than traditionally when they're in the box, right? And so what we're seeing from a penetration perspective is where historically a consumer may select 1.5 to 1.6 products per their vehicle. We're now starting to see those numbers closer to 1.7 based off of some of the information that we're seeing within the consumer components. So.
What's the response been with the dealers now implementing JM&A products?
Yeah, it's been great. The consumers and the dealers, we're all in it to support the consumer, right? And so there's just this, adoption phase, right? Just like anything new, it's a little testing, let's feel, let's pivot, let's understand, I don't think we figured it out 100% yet, right? There's still a tremendous amount of learning that's going to take place, but at the core of who we are is we're a dealership-centric organization. And dealer first, we have to be able to take some of these learnings, bring them back from a data perspective to our consumer and support them in that world.
Yeah, I love it. How, obviously we're here at NADA, there's so many bells and whistles, right? There's no shortage of things to look at. From the perspective of F&I, from JM&A's vantage point, what are y'all's thoughts on staying ahead of the curve, being cutting edge, and remaining, just hyper relevant, not just for dealer, but I love what you said, for doing what's right for customer.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's one of the big things that we've innovated. Back in 2018, we started to launch the concept of virtual F&I. And so the concept we originally thought that the consumer would be at their house, the F&I manager would be able to deliver the F&I menu virtually. Well, what's happened is over the past 5 years, we've actually delivered over 30,000 virtual F&I deals. And what's interesting is we have seen majority of those deals where the consumer is in the dealership and the F&I manager is not, right? And so what we're seeing is that it's making the process much faster and convenient for the consumer when the dealer has a centralized office or they're able to remote in an F&I assistant to support in the F&I transaction.
That's fantastic. Just staying ahead of the curve. We got people lining up here at the booth. They said, camera schmamra, I need to know about this F&I product.
I love it. That's great.
So you mean to tell me, just so I understand this correctly, you have now the F&I professional being able to work a deal remotely and the customer choosing really where they want to do the transaction.
That's right. Today we have 10 virtual F&I specialists that live across the country that remote in to dealerships across the country to deliver the F&I deal to support the consumer when they're at the store.
Wow, this is fantastic stuff. We're here at the JM&A booth at NADA 2024. We've had things over the loudspeakers. We've had people walking in front of the camera. I was ready to interview him because he was clearly excited about this product. But Kevin
For
Hall,
sure.
I want to thank you so much for joining us here.
Excellent.
Awesome stuff what you guys are doing, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we really appreciate it. We really appreciate all of you, and we appreciate what the dealers are doing as well. It's a lot of fun.
So great. Thanks so
you,
much.
man.
Great
Thank
stuff.
you.